Well, as far as I understand it, I have to preset it as a schedule. I have to have us all off of the thing. So now I'm just going to take us live. All right, there it's brought us over here live. And let's see, it's going to probably have a whole different channel name now. We got this. There's
I see us.
Yeah. Okay. That
So I'm
live. Yeah, I'm going back to my Facebook and changing the channel.
Me too.
Oh, come on, Cynthia. Oh, that's nice. All right, I just have to change it in one, the main one, and it changes it throughout the group. So that's cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, let me get you on here. I need to bring all my story in. And I'll adjust the story in the description later, since we're already live. Let me see.
Technology, it's an amazing thing.
It's all good. You know, I've been putting myself together for, I don't know, I'm going to say 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And how much you have to learn, you know, it's crazy to just even be out there, you know.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Hello, Diva. We had a little tech issues, but we're going to get started here. Okay. So you about ready, Harry?
Sure. Let's have some fun.
You were ready when you came on, right?
Oh, listen, we all have our tech issues. I have my tech issues. I've had so many issues of when I switched over, just because I was, just because it was something different. It was something new, and we're learning new techniques and we're learning new things every day. And and we're adapting to a whole new situation. But
Yes.
how beautiful. We used to only be able to do this when we would do seminars.
Hello, Kathleen. Happy to see you here. Kathleen says hi, Harry.
Oh, hello, Kathleen.
Okay, everyone, this is Cynthia Toy, and we're just here. I have a special guest on the channel today, on the Gypsy Medicine Woman channel. And harryb-happy, we actually met at an Own the Stage with Lisa Winston.
Exactly.
And Joe Vitale. That's the first time. What was that, about 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
Such a long time ago, huh?
That was such a fun event. It really was.
It was when I actually got on stage, and when I actually started talking, it was like, there was no fear for me. It was so natural. It was like, that's where I was supposed to be. And from there, that's what's got my YouTube channel going right now. I have over 500 videos on my YouTube channel. It's like crazy.
I know. Growing up, I've always been the technician. Growing up, I was always the technician. I was the guy who, I did touring Broadway. I did concerts as an audio engineer. So I always did that because a morbid fear of being behind a camera or being in front of a camera. And I hated being on stage. So when I left and became a Buddhist monk, knowing that was one of my fears, my teacher used to put me in front of people on a regular basis. And I started getting a little more comfortable with it over time because it was small audiences. But then after I did the advanced Ho'oponopono seminar with Joe Vitale in Wimberley, and that really was a breakthrough for me. I had done some smaller seminars, but that was the one where I just stepped up on stage and went, okay. And I just kind of asked the universe, what should I say today? And it truly, that's how I speak. I don't, Chuck can tell you, it's hard for me to prep. I can have ideas sitting in front of me, but you cannot put any kind of a script in front of me because it's never going to happen. There is no script that's ever going to happen.
No, it doesn't work that way. In fact, for my show, like my Hidden Love Story, I do that every Monday night and Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But, I could do my pre-script. I'll record my pre-script, but when I get on screen, it's a whole nother thing. But when I look at my pre-script, it actually opens my voice chakra so I can speak longer and louder, and it kind of like gives me some content. But it's
right.
It's never what I spoke about before.
Well, that's just it. And doing what we do. I mean, even I have my nightly meditation on YouTube every night at 9 p.m. Central Time. And I do a very similar meditation every night. I do have a set of chants that I do pretty regularly. We ship things around. We do, sometimes we do mudras during our meditation. Sometimes we just do mantras. Sometimes we're moving energy. Sometimes we're just doing more clearing and more healing. It's different in that aspect every night. The only part that is scripted is that there's a set of mantras that I chant almost every night. And they're mantras around Ho'oponopono, around clearing, and then around empowering. And go ahead.
Donna Marie, I know you're asking for a reading. Right now I'm here actually interviewing harryb-happy about how he's actually gotten into Ho'oponopono. And maybe at the end, after I interview him and him actually doing his little script, then maybe I'll be happy to do a reading for you. Okay. All right, go ahead.
So Ho'oponopono, this crazy word, and we've heard it. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways over time, including hopping on a no-no, and that was one of my favorite ones. So this is basically, and we're going to keep it as simple as possible because we've got a shorter amount of time, and a real Ho'oponopono seminar takes a couple of days to make it all the way through. In simplicity, it is a Hawaiian healing system based on acknowledgement, based on forgiveness, based on awareness. So there are 4 phrases, and many people have heard the 4 phrases either through Dr. Joe or Dr. Hulin. and many people who teach the technique around the world these days, including myself. And it's 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And they can be said pretty much in any form that you want to say them. The only way I wouldn't say them is, I'm sorry, I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And
sorry,
and that was just, we can have a good Ho'oponopono joke. But when you're saying it to yourself and your connection with source, whether that be with God, with Christ, with the Buddha, with Allah, with just Gaia, with Mother Earth, whatever it is, it's your connection with the universe, your connection with source. And you're saying, I'm sorry. What am I sorry for? Well, I'm sorry for being out of balance with my perfect self, with my divine self. I'm sorry for whatever is in me that I'm observing externally. So if I see somebody suffering, I clear on them and I say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. When I'm saying that, I'm saying it because I'm clearing my perception of what I see in them. I'm never clearing you, and I'm never clearing you, and I'm never clearing you. I'm always clearing myself on what I see going on with you because it's a perception. Just because I see it a certain way doesn't make it real. What we see in the news is what the news chooses to show us. But we all know that we only get the headline. We don't get all of it. We don't get the big picture, which is why we all have false perceptions about what's going on in our world, no matter what it is, who we're listening to, what it is. There's nothing specific that I'm talking about. The same thing. If you came to me and you told me about something and that's my only perception of it, then I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to go, oh, okay, well, that's the way this is. And then I talk to somebody else a week later who gives me another story. Okay, well, which one's right? I've known you, so I'm going to bring my trust in you because you're the person that I know. And I know that you're a trustworthy person. But then as I do my research, as I do my clearing, and I say, well, but the situation's interesting. So I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I say it over and over again while loosely holding on to a situation, whatever it is. Maybe it's me not having confidence in myself, or maybe it is in an external thing. And as I continue to say these 4 phrases, it seems like the truth begins to come out. I begin to see all the right sources. All the right things need to happen for me to get the job that I want, to get the partner that I want, to get the money that I want, to have a situation that's healthy for me. The more I clear. Right.
We want all those right now.
Exactly. We do. I want all those, and I'm still clearing, but I've seen miracles happen in my life.
Me too.
And I mean, I've seen some hardcore miracles happen in my life. And that's why I continue to do it. That's why I was so adamant. And one of my favorite stories was when I started studying Ho'oponopono back in 2006. I kept saying, well, man, I've been listening to Joe Vitale for years, the attractor factor and hypnotic writing and such. And I said, man, I love Ho'oponopono so much, and it resonates with my Buddhist life. As I was a Buddhist monk, it resonated 100% with my Buddhist teachings, because you're asking for forgiveness, you're forgiving others, you're taking acknowledgement that there are things wrong in your life. You're owning your own crap. And it's okay. That's a great thing. Own your crap. And so I said, I want to be on stage with Joe Vitale teaching this technique. And so, a number of years later, and of course, Chuck, and Chuck left Houston and moved to Wimberley to kind of pursue a different part of his career. And part of it was also saying he wanted to do all of Joe's websites and wanted to work with them. And now he takes care of so much of Joe's stuff, and they've become partners in the Zero Limits Mentoring Mastermind and things like that. So I've watched it. I've watched how doing all these clearings, all of a sudden I get a call from Chuck going, hey, we're going to do an advanced Ho'oponopono seminar and we want you to come and teach. So I had been clearing on that for a long time, and now that happened. So all of these things have happened. So many different situations in my life I clear on, including, during COVID, we weren't being able to see clients. I'm used to seeing clients one-on-one. I do a lot of hands-on healing work, and I do a lot of the gong and singing bowl healing, sound healing. Well, I wasn't letting people into my home because I didn't know what was going on. And so each month, after I blew through, the first 6 or 8 months, I blew through all of my savings. And so suddenly we're getting down to the 27th of the month, and I have no idea how I'm going to pay rent, how I'm going to pay electricity, how I'm going to pay my phone, how I'm going to have groceries. It got to be a bit crazy because I blew through so much. Nobody expected this to go on as long as it has. Right. And I would sit there in front of my altar, this beautiful altar behind me, and I would just go, here's what I need. I would tell the universe, here's what I need. Here's the dollar amount that I need just to make it through this month. Right. And I need it in 3 days. And all of a sudden, I start clearing on it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get calls going, Harry, can you do a remote cleansing on my home? Wow. And that's, cleansings, to do homes like that, especially where we're going into each room and we're clearing and we're doing it energetically. We're doing this through Zoom, and it's quite amazing how effective it is. It is. Huh? And all of a sudden, here's, I tell them the amount that I need. And even at the end, they said, what you charged just wasn't enough for what you did. So it's palpable. What we could feel it happening as it was going on. Right. And so they said, so we're going to send you this amount. What's funny is that the amount that they sent me was what I needed plus about $100. That's crazy. Woo. And so that's about being clear. You are, as you're saying these 4 phrases, you're getting clear. You're clearing away all the debris, all of the smoke, all of the crap, so that you can see what's real, and so that you can bring yourself into harmony with the universe and with what you really want. But you also have to be really clear about what you want, and then let it go and let the universe do its job. It's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing how fast the universe does work. And when I'm live on my show, Your Hidden Love Story, I'm also teaching the Ho'oponopono. And what I do a little bit differently, even though, because I'm talking about the child within. That's what I tell everybody. I'm talking about the child within. And then I kind of go through the process for them. I am so sorry. I'm putting the emphasis. I'm so sorry to that inner child within me, for I didn't know any better. Will you please forgive me? For I love you so, so, so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'll go through it that way, is trying to get them to embrace the feeling of it within themselves and bringing more emphasis into the wording of it. And it's acknowledging that you love yourself. I mean, if I were to say nothing else to anybody today, if we were to say, what is the most important one thing that you can do in your life? And it's not always the easiest thing. It's not always the easiest thing. It would be sit in front of a mirror, stare at yourself, smile at yourself, soften that gaze, and like you would tell your child or your partner, just say, I love you. And you're staring at your soul. Yeah, you're looking at your soul when you're doing that. And it is not always an easy thing to do. You think it's easy, but most of the time we're looking in the mirror to pretty ourselves up or to put our, but to look ourselves eye to eye in the mirror is another story. There was a point in time where I couldn't do that. I couldn't look myself in the eye and say, I love you. There was a point in my life where I really didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. And fortunately, everything changed in my world. You know, I was raised atheist. I was a touring sound engineer. I drank every day. It was a crazy life. It really was. And there are aspects of it that I absolutely adore, and I don't regret 1 second of it. I really don't. But I also don't regret any of what happened from there. To me, it was just another step. It was just part of the journey. And that's just it. We don't have to hate ourselves from before we took on this journey. And we don't have to judge others negatively because they're on a journey that we were on many years ago. You know, it's one of those things when people have their spiritual awakening, suddenly they start looking at other people and going, oh, well, you're not as good as me. And I see it happen all the time. It doesn't happen with everybody, but we all, I think, have seen that happen. You know, anytime that somebody betters themselves, they begin to look down on those who haven't gone through that yet. And we're all on a different journey.
I have a couple people in the chat. We have Kathleen. She's agreeing that, you know, that it's all about perception, and she's agreeing, you know, she really liked the fact that something actually happened when you had your miracle happen in front of the altar, and you're asking about the amount of money you needed and how short of a time. So she's actually saying that's so awesome. And she's saying, I'm in, and I like loving myself. And then we also have someone that's from, someone, you know, Innemset.
Yeah, and yeah, she's in Africa.
Yeah, she's saying good evening to you. And Kathleen's saying it's part of the journey. So just reading back to you with what the chat's going on. I like to keep them involved. And everyone, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and get this information out to other people in the world, because, you know, it's really important stuff to love that soul that we really, truly are. Because when we are able to embody that love within, you know, the world really provides for us at such a deeper level where you'll be walking outside and you're feeling the love from everywhere you go. No matter what you're doing, where you're going, where you're walking, that love gets returned to you. You're going, wow, this person down the street is hurrying up and trying to wave at me. It's like, how did I vibrate so far out? It's because I love the person that I am, the soul that I am. And then the universe starts sharing you back. This is how much you're loving yourself. The universe actually sees that.
You know, gratitude, let's face it, you know, part of Ho'oponopono. Thank you. I love you. That's gratitude. That's pure gratitude. And gratitude is one of the most important things you can have in life. You know, when things do work out for you, having gratitude, but when things don't work out for you, and there's a lesson there, that you can still have gratitude for that lesson because you don't have to go through that again. You know, people talk about karma all the time, and they say, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If I rob you, I'm going to have to get robbed. Well, that's not 100% what's there. Part of it is that if you acknowledge that there's something that you've been doing that was not so good for other people, that was not so good for yourself, and that you've been building up that karma, if you can acknowledge it, and acknowledge exactly what was happening and break the cycle. Stop it right then and there.
That's true, Harry. It is about, it's like when something happens to me that makes me feel uncomfortable, that takes me into the lower vibrational way, and anything that's lower vibrational is, I talk about love and above, because love and above is love, happiness, joy, excitement, passion, desire. But the lower vibration is sadness, anger, fear, discontent, unhappy, you know, and that's what Harry's talking about. When we go into that lower vibrational way, that's the tower moment, that's the karma. When we actually go into that, if we can look at it, oh, what is it for me to learn here? What is it that this is trying to teach me right here, right now? What is it that I can actually learn from this? To me, I look at it, how can I flip my script around to a better script? So I can change the emotional feeling around that's attached to the story that made me feel less than whole and complete. If I can give it that that whole situation, a brand new story, it can actually change the emotional self around how you're actually feeling in your body. And you give that new story, it's like, oh, now when I look back into the past to that place that I called a karmic moment, it's now no longer karmic. It actually taught me a lesson. It let me grow, and it let me grow to where I'm comfortable with it. Now I can share that story today without crying or feeling sad or bad or mad. So it's really important for us to look at those karmic things as, that's our growing stages. That's that's our door of opportunity to grow to be this bigger, better person within, so we can actually love ourselves even more.
Exactly. Well, and we talked about somebody asking you earlier for a reading. And because of course that's what you do, that's who you are on this channel. And that's what people are used to. And so as we're doing these clearings, as we're talking about, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, as you're doing a reading and as you're talking about all of this, as you do a reading for somebody, initially the first reading that you do is going to be based on where they are at that moment in their life. That's where that reading is, you're going to start pulling cards if you're pulling cards for somebody, or if it's a natural reading, it can go that way as well. But then if you took that same reading and you shuffled those cards again and you stopped and had them do Ho'oponopono with you, had them clear on themselves, and you did a second reading, this would be a whole different reading. This would be a very different feeling, because what's happening is right then, right now, they are taking responsibility for everything in their life, and they're clearing. And when they're clearing with their heart.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, each night when I'm working with people, when I say, think about something you want to clear on, whatever it is, it can be health, wealth, relationships, a new business, a new home, it can be anything, just, a negative situation happening in your life. Think about it, but then take it and bring it into your heart. And sometimes that's painful, but sometimes that's bliss. And you begin to clear on it. And when you start clearing on it, you can feel it in your heart. Sometimes it's hard to feel it up in your head because there's so many things happening. But when you clear in the heart, it really begins to open up. And then you can, with one big breath, you can take a big giant breath and take any darkness that's still holding on there, pull it up into the throat. Once again, these aren't things that are comfortable, but you hold it, and then with the hardest breath you can possibly muster up, you just blow out as hard as you can, and you're blowing out all of that darkness, all of that fear, all of that anger, all of that dis-ease. But you can change your own paradigm in seconds.
When I'm doing the readings, I really like the concept that you're sharing, Harry, because of the fact that I do include the Ho'oponopono within my show. But, I think it was Monday, I could have actually done a Ho'oponopono at the end because somebody wanted me to do a reading about what's going on over in Russia, And it was intense for me to get the reading to come out, but how I have the readings come out, it is so beautiful. It's like, because I cannot find the pain in this story, I'm going to find out what is so beautiful about the story. I'm going to find out what it is what is the true purpose of what's going on, And even when somebody's asking me about, what's going on with my boyfriend over there, it's really like, I'm going to do the reading, what's going on with your soul in here. Let's see what this is going on, because it's not about the boyfriend. It's not about the girlfriend. It's not about the teacher or the mom or the dad or anything else that's going on out there. It has to do with the soul. It has to do with who you are as a person inside. And most of the time, by the time I'm done doing the readings, they're already feeling like, wow, how did you word it just in such a magical way, Cynthia? And I'm going, I don't know, it's gifted. I have a couple more people in the chat. I have a tendency to explode light bulbs and electricity, totally get blamed every day for the dumbest shit. Well, you know, when somebody's trying to blame you, that's somebody else projecting blame upon you. You don't have to take it as blame as something's wrong, or, you can try to find a way to fine tune what it is that's making these things happen, because it's probably an energetically overload within your own body. And then we have Tipa that's saying,
UTB.
Yeah, they're saying hello to both of us, and and they're happy to be here. And the other one was from Kratina. So Kratina, yeah, whenever those light bulbs and electricities are going off, don't let them blame you, because that's their energy. maybe you're picking up their energy that's going through you as being empathic or something, and so you get to become the explosive one of the light bulb electricities, because maybe it overflows you. But remember not to take on their blame, their guilt, their whatever it is they're pointing the finger at you. Remember, don't take it on as yours, because it is never yours.
Exactly. We're changing every day. And that's the beautiful thing about all of this, is that who you are today is not who you will be tomorrow. We're constantly changing and we're constantly evolving. So allow yourself to change and evolve into what you want to become, not who you've expected yourself to be.
That's correct. We have to live in the now, live in the now, live in the now, live in the now. And it's not like thinking about everything that happened in the past. Anything that's in the past that really, again, disrupts us, that's the tower moment. That's the karmic thing. That's what it is that we want to go back and rewrite that story. And it does take time, because we've all been raised in these lower vibrational stories in this for a long time. So it takes time for us to rewrite those stories. It takes time to clear that out. But putting it together with a Ho'oponopono really helps put a fast speed to it. It's like putting the pedal to the metal. Let that race car go.
Exactly.
It says, well, I've been using that gift for plain Bible versus bills.
Okay.
So, what benefits does Ho'oponopono have to offer? I know that I've heard from Joe Vitale that it actually healed an entire prison camp of
insane asylum.
Insane. Yeah. So why don't you tell us some benefits that you know personally, besides manifesting what it is that you need? What kind of healing does Ho'oponopono bring into people's lives?
So here's one of the beautiful things about Ho'oponopono, is that it's clearing what we know we can see and what we can't see. So when we do it on ourselves and we think about healing, we think about our body, our physical body, and our health, it's clearing away all of the darkness so that we can see where the light is. So does it mean that Ho'oponopono is going to cure pick a disease? I'm not even going to say a disease because I don't like saying diseases.
No, I'm not going to say it either.
but if you've got something going on and something you're trying to fix within yourself, and something that you're going through, and you begin to say the 4 phrases, what might happen is you might learn about a set of diets, a set of dietary changes you can make that will help to heal that problem. You might find a doctor who is highly skilled in clearing whatever's going on with you. You might find that your body just miraculously begins to start changing, and that your body starts coming back into its own homeostasis. As you clear on money, you can have certain situations come to you that will help you to change it around. But also remember that the universe likes action. it can show you all of the different paths, but the universe loves action. It's like, I can come and I can bring you all of this food, but if you don't eat it, you're still going to be hungry. I can get you a new job, but if you don't show up, you're not going to get a paycheck. Ho'oponopono's there to bring all the right situations into your life, to bring all the things that you need to do in order to improve your life and to give you the life that you're giving lip service to. So we're all really good at saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, but we don't do what it takes in order to make that happen. And I've been so guilty of it over the years. I've always been the king procrastinator. My whole life, I would procrastinate on things. And so I've cleared on my procrastination, and I've done more in the last 4 years than I've done probably in the last 20 years, for the exception of becoming a Buddhist monk. And that was a hard one. That was a hard step to make, because I really left everything that I had.
I understand leaving everything that you have, because it's like, it was about 1.5 years ago, I said, I'm going to up-level my game and going completely into the spiritual world, meaning that I just follow spiritual messages all day long. It's, what am I supposed to do next? Oh, okay, I'm going over here. Oh, I'm supposed to go over there. I'm supposed to do this. I follow universal signs. But I wanted to add on to a couple of things that you talked about, Harry. Is one of the things you talked about is you didn't want to mention any illnesses or any diseases, right? And I totally understand that, because I had a condition for 15 years, and every time that somebody, and I got myself well, it was fibromyalgia, and it took me under, right? And I was bedridden. I would sleep 16, 18 hours days. And when I was up, I was not performance. And look at me now, I'm a TV host for my own TV program. But that was because I took the mindset to, I found my own wellness. I got away from all the doctors and everything and started using my mindset to get myself well. So I'm not on any of the medications anymore. And I started living my life purpose. But as I'm going forward in this journey, people want me to talk about that condition. And I find out when I was talking about that condition, it actually would bring that condition back into my presence after the video. So I would tell them, I'm not doing another video with you to talk about that condition, because it makes it live again. And they go, well, maybe one day it won't get live. And I'm going, well, right now, I'm not wanting to tamper with it. All I want to do is let you know that we got to keep our mind thoughts. We got to have our mindset at this higher vibrational mindset and not be worrying about what it was back there that kept me under. Let's look at what it was that got me well, because that's what gets me well. The more I talk about that, what got me well was telling myself what things were working for me and applying what was working for me into my daily life. And that's what kept me going. And that's why I'm able to do these shows today. Well, I'm booked all week this week. It's like, how do I have so much time going on? I do want to say hello to my brother. He actually stepped in. Thank you for showing up. And I also want to let Katrin Davis, with your thyroid and your what you're talking about in your condition, what came up to me is get some aloe vera juice going in to your diet, because it helps with that kind of stuff. And so see, that's how just information comes to us out of the blue. You wouldn't even know that I would have some information about that. Kathleen, she was able to stop. She was drinking Red Bulls 2 or 3 a day. And she all of a sudden woke up one morning, she's not doing it anymore because of the mindset, And then what else is being said in the chat? They're just talking to each other. So, well, I have to, read into what it is that they're actually talking about within the show. And
exactly.
That is another technique. I mean, when you start doing these live shows and then they're doing the chat, you're not just being the person that's putting on the show, you're also reading into the chat. And then you have to read through the chat to see what part of it really applies to the show that needs to go live and what part of it is between the 2 of them or 3 of them or all of them.
Yeah, it's when you start getting that number of comments, it's like, if you have a question, please type a big Q before you ask the question, so that I can see, oh, it's a question.
Well, there's a couple couple in the chat that are my regulars, so I know they're talking to each other. So yeah. So let's see, there was something else, but it slipped my mind. So, I did one, like one day I wrote down all these things that I wanted to happen, and I totally forgot that I wrote down what I needed to happen. And it was like 2 or 3 days later, I came back and I looked at my piece of paper and I'm going, oh, all of that is done. All of that happened. And I don't even know how some of it happened, but it all magically happened. And it was the year before that, I had 13 items on my list, big items that I wanted to have completed. And 11 of the 13 got done. The 2 that aren't done are still with my, I'm at that stage where I'm at my financial situation. I'm going to go in front of that mirror because I'm getting down to my last pennies here. And I'm going, okay, what do you want me to do? Are you wanting me to move, or are you going to help me provide for what it is that I'm doing here? And then I have a love story of my own, that's going on. It's like, okay, I think this is going on, but maybe it's not going on. Oh, no, it's going on because the universe talks to me. The universe shows me all the time the love story is real. But when it comes to the 3D world, it's like, well, really, is it real? But in the middle of that, the learning and the process and the growth is such a magical journey. It is so beautiful. It's the questioning that makes it uneasy. It's the questioning that puts the bump in the road. But if we could just trust in the process and trust in the now through the journey, then there's no obstacles, there's no bumps, there's no hiccups. So.
Well, I've said it before, and that's that our world is very yin and yang, and the yin and yang is part of life. And so we're always going to have peaks and we're always going to have valleys. It's a big sine wave. It's just a big sine wave. And our practice, knowing that there's always going to be peaks and there's always going to be valleys, right there in the center is where we ride. Sometimes we go up, sometimes we go down. Our job is to bring our center point higher and higher and higher. So eventually what happens is that our lowest days are higher than our highest days used to be, and our highest days are just angelic. They're through the roof, and that's part of the practice. I
love those days the most, though.
Well, of course we do, but as long as you acknowledge that, hey, even my worst days today are better than my best days used to be. And when you start to acknowledge that and really see that, it makes such a monumental difference in your world. It truly is amazing as soon as you realize, oh, wow, I used to really suffer a lot. And now I have negative days. I have bad days and days that are harder, but those bad days are still better than my best days used to be. And my best days, those things are just incredible. And that's the practice. That's, acknowledging all the greatness that happens in your life and realizing that, even though you think that there's some miserable things that are happening, there's somebody else who's looking at you and watching you and saying, wow, that person has an amazing life. Right. And you and I, we have people that we look up to and say, man, those people have amazing lives. And those people have people that they look up to and say, wow, that person has an amazing life. When you're going through it, sometimes it's hard to see just how amazing your life is. But if you can look at your life through the eyes of somebody else, if you can just take one quick look there, you'll see just how amazing you really are. And each of us are, and each of us are that amazing.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's important for us to take time to re-look at how far we come. So, if I just keep going and keep trucking and keep going and keep trucking and keep going and keep trucking, then I lose the value within myself because I haven't taken time to pause for a moment. If I take that time to pause for a moment and say, look at where I was last year. Last year, I wrote a book. I made my own deck of cards. I became a TV host for my own TV hosting program. I have over 500 videos on YouTube. I did all that in 1 year. And that was through a time that I'm going through a lot of heavy stuff. But I just plowed through the heaviness. Is like, no, I'm not going to live in the heaviness. I'm going to live in the lightness. I'm not going to live in the heaviness. I'm going to keep going towards the lightness. Even though it was a journey, not all of it's easy. Because we have to push through what we don't know. Like Harry and we were going live today, and I'm using Zoom to go live, and I had it all pre-set up, but it started the live on a different channel, so we had to go put our codes in, and that was a push. It was like, okay, but we're going to learn. It's like, because it's new for me, but I'm going to learn it, and then in 6 months from now, I'm going, this is so easy. I don't even know how I was having problems then, because it looked easy then, but it still showed its difficult journey with us.
Well, and now you're going to go back after this and look and go, okay, what went wrong and why did it go wrong? And what can I do to make sure it doesn't go wrong again? Because now you know what went bad. So now you can just reverse engineer it and go, okay, cool. Now I know how to do it.
Well, I have another call with Geraldine Cook on Friday, so I'll come practice on her.
Awesome.
So, are you part of the Zero Limits mentoring program also with Joe Vitale?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I try to get there as much as I can. It's difficult for me sometimes because it's also prime time for clients, and so it's not always easy for me to jump in right there. And I'm also getting ready during that time for my nightly meditations. But yeah, I've been there since the beginning. I've been blessed to be on it a few times and to be able to share with them as well.
That's like me, because I'm not there all the time. I'm only there. I'm not hardly there, but I'm there when I'm supposed to be, is the way I look at it.
Right.
When I pop in, that's exactly the channel. That's exactly the show that I needed to hear for me to get the next movement, or the next piece of information, the next download that I needed for the next piece that I needed to put out there into my digital platform. It's a really nice journey to be on, to have such big people. To me, I look at Joe Vitale and Chuck as big people. So, and I know they got big people above them. That's what you're talking about. The ladder keeps going up. But I feel honored just to be a part of the group,
It's a great group. And I mean, what an amazing opportunity. You've been there since the early stages of it. And I think there have been a number of more people there at the moment than say a year and a half ago or 2 years ago when we were all. I think it's been going on now for almost 4 years. I couldn't believe that they've been doing that for almost 4 years, and then I started looking back at my schedule, going, well, yeah, it has been that long, but the amount of attention that everybody gets if they take the time to ask the questions, if they take the time to interact, everybody can get their questions answered. And that's what's been nice about it. And I've gotten some great information from the group, and the group has so much wonderful information aside from the mentors. The group itself has got such great people in it. And so bringing all of these wonderful people together, that's where the power of it comes through.
It does. And I have people in the chat that's coming in from my group that are actually, they're liking what you're saying, and they're really enjoying what we're talking about. So.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm trying to I've got the live chat on my iPad off to the side, trying to keep an eye on it as well and just say hello to people and see who's there.
They want to know what you're drinking.
So this is a water from the Alps called Liquid Death, and it's from Austria, and just a beautiful water source. I'm passionate about water. I love water. I love real water. I love water from great sources. So I'm not so much the 365 or the smart water or the marketed waters, which are nothing more than kind of purified tap water. I love water from natural sources. I love the mineral content. I love everything about them. So being a I hate using the word tea master, but being a tea master, tea sommelier, I'm always looking for the best waters for specific teas. Because
Liquid Death, I mean, what a name.
but it is great. And I mean, they've got great marketing, including, you can, on one of their things, I couldn't bring myself to do it, but you can, they'll send you, I think, what was it, like a case of water if you'll sell your soul to them. I mean, there's some crazy marketing there. But I just have to laugh. And a friend of mine brought these to me, and I'd had them once before, and I said, well, I'll drink this. It'll get it'll get a conversation going.
And Gregory, you're asking me if I've been doing this often. This is probably my third, fourth, maybe my fifth time that I've gone live with somebody else online, but I want to be doing it at least once every other week, if not once a week. I mean, because everything is time consuming, so I have to figure out what I want to bring on and when. But I wanted to bring Harry in because I'm already using the Ho'oponopono, and I really wanted to talk about that because I know that I feed it into my feed all the time, and he lives it,
It's been such a fun journey. It's some of the things that have happened, I guess, let's talk about it. There's a number of groups out there, Ho'oponopono groups out there, and people who share their stories. And, there's a thought pattern, and we go, it's always darkest before the dawn. And I do hold on to that. When you're clearing, sometimes it looks like things are not getting better. Sometimes it looks like things are getting worse. And what it's doing is it's pulling all of the things that are in the way of you succeeding. It's pulling them to the surface and getting them out of you. It's getting them away from you. But the thing is that when you pull things to the surface, they look the worst. If you can't see them, you don't perceive them. But as soon as you can see it, you go, ooh, and that fear comes out. And stop letting the fear rule your life. Acknowledge it. In Buddhism, in Vipassana meditation, we say we'll see things all the time. And in meditation, you see something come up in front of you, and you say, oh, thank you for showing yourself to me. You may now leave. You may now go. I now release you. We hold on to nothing, because if you continue to clear and continue to let go of everything, then all of a sudden you have room in your body, in your consciousness, in your energy field for all of the new wonderful things to come into your life. Sometimes we just have to purge. Sometimes we just have to let go. And I've done that a number of times, and I'm sure it's about to happen again, that it's time to start letting go of more and more things so that the new paradigm can come. All the new shifts can come. If I take a glass of water and I fill it up and then I continue to pour water into it, well, nothing happens. But if I pour some of that water out and get rid of the FOMO, the fear of missing out and the fear of not having, then we make room for all of the new things to come. And that's what happens. It happens with you. It happens with me. It happens with Joe. It happens with Chuck. With every law of attraction guru out in the universe, they've all let go of so much in order to bring in all of the right things for them.
I know when I'm letting go of a lot, what I notice is that's when I shut everybody off. It's like, no, you guys can't talk to me right now because I'm going through my letting go process. And
right.
Then I have my brother in there. I know I didn't get to you and let you know. I did think about you, but with all my technical issues that I was going on, and this was just a short notice too. When did we decide to do this, Harry? Yesterday or
Last night?
Less than 48 hours. Yeah, I mean, we just decided to do it, and I hurried up and pieced everything together, which takes time, takes effort, takes energy to actually market the things that I'm doing and to set it up to go live with somebody else that's across the country here.
And if you, and I'm going to say something real quick, if you appreciate the energy that's being put into this, both from me and from Cynthia on a daily basis, one of the simplest things you can do, and I know it seems kind of crazy to everybody else, but it is the only way we know who's out there and who's enjoying things. Please hit that like button. For it, whether you're on my feed or whether you're on Cynthia's feed at any given time or anybody else on YouTube, if you're enjoying their content, it really does help the algorithms for us. It really does show us what's working and what's not working. Please hit that thumbs up button. It means so much. Nobody will ever know unless they start doing content creation just how wonderful that is when people hit that button.
Let's see. The other thing I had written down, I think we already kind of touched into it, is how does it help one love themselves within at a deeper level when we're using Ho'oponopono? And I think we kind of really touched in on that, because it is about loving that child within when we're actually doing the Ho'oponopono.
Yeah. So the best thing and the most important thing there is, truly the most important thing is to remember that it's a feeling. It's not words. I'm not just sitting there going, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. We're not simply doing that. We're coming in and going, hey, I'm sorry. I recognize that there are things out of balance with myself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Me, to myself, to my connection with Source. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Deep inside, feel it in your body, feel it in your soul, feel it in your energetic field. Really understand that it's a vibration. It's not about you saying out loud, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. You can do it silently. It's about understanding those 4 phrases energetically inside your body, inside your consciousness, and allowing that transformation to happen. It's about loving yourself. It's about knowing that you are good enough, that you are amazing, that you are divine.
Like, you're awesome, you're amazing, you're special, you're one of a kind, you're unique, you're exactly who you're supposed to be, because there's nobody out there just like you, and we need you just the way you are. Now go ahead and get those talents going, because we need those beautiful talents that you are. You are awesome, you're amazing, you're special, you're one of a kind. And again, with the Ho'oponopono, that's why when I'm teaching it and I'm showing it out to the audience, it's like, the child within you, you're telling that child within you, I love you, I love you, I am so sorry for what it is I did not know. Please forgive me, because I'm putting the emphasis and the energy into your body, into your soul, into your spirit. Please forgive me, for I did not know any better. I love you so freaking much. Excuse me, Harry.
It's true, though. It's
true. Thank you. Thank you. And when we do it that way, we're putting the emphasis into the Ho'oponopono. You put that emphasis into it. To me, it tenfold. It makes it so much more stronger within the body, within the soul, within the spirit, within the mind. And another thing with Joe Vitale, what I hear him saying, he's saying those words all the time to himself, all the time, even when he's
That's the only thing you can say it to. That's the only person you can say it to is yourself.
Yeah, but like when he's on the show, he's remembering to, when he's even live, he's saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me for whatever it is he's not saying or don't know or don't, feel like he should be better, whatever,
He also, with, and like Dr. Hulin would say, and as you're doing right now, you get in touch with your inner child, because your inner child doesn't have to pay bills. Your inner child doesn't have to go to work. Your inner child is in a whole different realm of its own. And you go to your inner child and you meditate with your inner child and you play with your inner child and you do games. And then at the end you say, you know what, would you do me one favor? Would you just say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, over and over again, 24 hours a day. Your inner child has all this time because your inner child doesn't have to sleep. And so you get this 24-hour a day clearing and cleaning happening with your inner child. And because it's still you, your inner child is still you, suddenly, even when you're not conscious, you're still saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, because your inner child is taking care of that for you. And you're constantly telling your inner child, you're awesome, you're amazing. And as you do that, one of the great things, we go back to other styles of healing, like even with Reiki, where you can go back in time and clear back in time. Well, if you're clearing with your inner child, you're actually going back to when you were a child and you're clearing all the way up. So eventually what happens is all that previous stuff that happened from childhood on, good, bad, or indifferent, all of those things begin to clear. And all of a sudden one day, boom, everything starts making sense.
I also like to include, even though we're going into the inner child, I like to go into the inner child before it was here, the generational deep stuff, because that inner child was here before I was actually present, physical in this world. It's like, okay, inner child, will you go back, 5, 6, 7 generations? Let's go back 7 generations and let's do this. Let's say, I'm so sorry for the things I did not know. Please forgive me. I love you so much anyhow. And thank you for forgiving me for the things that I am sorry for, because I love you.
Exactly.
Oh, now we have, let me see. Eat it. Oh, are they still talking in the chat? Okay. Well, we had Katrin added something in there, so I wasn't quite sure what she was talking about, but I think she's getting into the middle of my chat, the people that come in. So let's see, how did you get, we talked about how you got started in this. So how long you been doing this? Since 2006?
It was 2006, I believe, when Joe released Zero Limits. If I remember right, I think that's when it was. Might have been early 2007, but I think it was 2006 because I remember going to Austin, and I was at a health, wellness, psychic, energy fair there, and he was a keynote speaker, and so I had the attractor factor with me that I wanted to get signed, and I was really happy to be able to go there and know that he was going to be there and get to hear him talk, because that was the first time that I had heard him talk live. And I had just, he was just releasing it. So I actually bought a copy of Zero Limits at the seminar from his people. And, what a huge shift. And I remember after I read it, I'm like, oh my God, Chuck, you've got to read this. And so I either gave Chuck my copy or I bought him a copy, and that's where it all started. And I just went, it's so much a part of my Buddhist lifestyle. I'm sorry. We recognize that we've done things wrong, so we reconcile them. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgiveness is so important. Thank you. Gratitude. We've got to have more gratitude. That's so important. And then, of course, I love you. And that love that you have for yourself and for all beings. And from a non-dualistic side, the Buddhist side, when I say I love you, I'm saying it to myself. But if I'm saying it to myself, I'm also saying it to you and to that part of me that's in you, and that part of me that's in every aspect of life, whether it be a tree, a river, the air, a person, an inanimate object. We're all still, we come from the same place. We all come from the same place. And when we all go back down to the same place. this physical body is nothing. This physical body is just a carrier. It's just a mobile.
It's our vessel.
It's our vessel. And so this is not the real thing. This, our consciousness, is the real thing.
I wanted to let you know also, Harry, anyhow, everybody, harryb-happy has a YouTube channel that he goes live every night. What time is, I know it's 7 p.m.
9 p.m. Central. 9 p.m. Central Time.
Okay, which is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
But what I wanted to let you know was, I started looking for a job, right? Because of the fact that, I'm starting to run low on funds, right? And the moment I start looking for a job, guess what? I am doing more YouTube, more engaging into my own channel, not because I asked to, is because the universe started pouring it down. It says, here, Cynthia, here, Cynthia. And so to me, that's the universe saying, Cynthia, we want you to keep doing what you're doing. We don't want you to worry about your pocketbook. I want you to keep doing what you're doing because your pocketbook is going to be fulfilled because of what you're doing.
Exactly.
So I just keep going day by day, and I don't really fear about what I have in my bank account or not. I know if worst case scenario, I get to fall back on my brother's house, but I believe, and it's like one day I go, okay, I'm going to just start packing, and the universe had me rearrange my whole house. It wouldn't let me pack. I'm going, okay, I guess I'm not packing,
It's just amazing how all of this works when we allow it and when we acknowledge it.
It is really crazy. I went ahead and I applied for a job that I go, okay, I really qualify for this and I can do this from home. Oh, well, when I went to actually apply that day, I was so busy, I couldn't even get the application in. So it took me another 3 or 4 days to get the application in, but it did the same thing to me on that 3rd or 4th day. I'm going, okay, it doesn't want me to get the application in now. It took me a week to get the application in. I'm going, well, the universe is making sure my application goes in either so it gets seen or it don't get seen, But each time I go into the applying, I have a couple more things that I could actually, start investing my time into it. What happened, it will take me away from what I'm doing online. And the universe is saying, no, Cynthia, we want you to keep doing what you're doing online because the messages I have is helping healing people in the world. They're looking at life in this better way,
Right.
Worst case scenario, they're typing in the chat. Worst case scenario, I both go back to my brothers. I mean, that's actually a beautiful that I have something to fall back on. It's not really a bad case. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean it that I'm in the middle of this growth that's so awesome, that's so amazing. I really don't want to have, to me, it's almost a fallback, but I have a net to fall back into, but it's not a bad thing.
Remember what we talked about. We said, we have highs and lows, and we try to bring our lows above where our highs used to be. So if that's what you're calling falling back on, see, things are good.
It is. It's good. I mean, at least I got a place to fall back on, and the place has upgraded since I was there last. So, it's not like I'm falling back to where it was in the past. I'm falling back to something better.
Exactly.
So is there anything else you want to add into the show or, want to share to the audience or how it is that they can help do more clearing?
I think the most important thing in all of it is to just take some time to do it. It's one of those things that has to be experienced. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to do. You can't, it's not just a concept, it's an action. We've got to take responsibility for everything going on in our lives. It's not somebody else's fault. You ever notice when something's going wrong, you're always there? But at the same time, when something goes right, you're also always there. So by doing the clearing yourself, by taking the time and the action to build your practice, you start really, really being a part of your life. And that's something that so many people, even though they're walking the life, they're really not consciously being a part of their life.
Right.
So it's important for them to really begin to take part in their life and to really enjoy their life, good and bad. There may be bad things that happen, but you can always see the blessings in it, and you can always transform it. A great phrase by a great Qigong master, transforming stress into vitality. We all have the stress at some time or another, but we can turn that around. We can flip the script,
And flip
and we
that script
can,
around.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the most important thing, is just enjoy your life, make your life what you want your life to be, really take ownership, and really just be a part of it.
And I want to go back to my brother's house. My brother's house is the paradise. I mean, it is a beautiful place that he has, so I don't want to discredit him or down credit him in any which way or shape or form. I want to uplift him and know that I know it's the paradise to step back into. I just have I have this other vision going on in my head. So I'm like going in that teeter-totter way. I have this other vision in my head, and it doesn't have to be in my brother's paradise land. But if that's where universe is taking me, I'm all open to that, So I'm not discounting it in any which way, shape, or form. I do want to let you know that. And what's something else? I want to also say we had 10 people watching, and we have 9 likes. Now we have 9 people watching, 9 likes. So we're doing good on our likes.
Excellent.
That makes me feel good. It's the first time I actually been able to see how many people are actually watching while I'm on YouTube. Maybe I've had my channel not open all the way, so. Okay.
I think that's also something that Zoom, I think that's something that happens with Zoom as well, is that Zoom, I think Zoom gives you counts on things too.
Okay. I'm watching YouTube there. It's telling me the count.
Oh, okay.
I think I normally, I open my screen up differently when I'm live. That's why I don't see it. So excellent. I'll have to open it up this way. Next time I can see it, and I can start, hey, you guys need to hit that like button.
Exactly.
I'm amazed at how much energy it actually takes for us to put ourselves out there in the digital world. I mean, because my life is in it, but it amazes me how far we have to push that door open.
It takes a great deal of effort. It's beautiful to do, and as things have opened up, it's taken a lot more effort because I have other things happening very close. During the pandemic, I had nothing else to do. I could prep all day, and by the time it was there, I had all this stuff I could do. And, now, the amount of time that I can dedicate to it is not as strong. So it's a good thing that I built a great foundation. One of my 600 and something broadcasts, maybe 7 now. I can't remember. I've got to go back and look. It's crazy. I would have never thought that would have ever been the case. I try to go live at least 5 nights a week, if not 6. It's so wonderful, and it's made my practice. It's made me a better person. To be able to do that has really, I'm clearing 5-6 days a week online with people, and I'm always clearing myself. So,
right.
And I'm always, I'm chanting every night. So it keeps my practice going. And that's the beautiful thing, is that the more the practice continues, the better things get. And
I think that's so true, because I go live twice a week, and it's like the in between is like seems so long. It's like, man, when am I going live again? So I call that my downtime,
And I don't have to read for people, so it's easier for me.
Reading for people is easy. It's a gift, Here we'll do it. I'll show you. It's real easy. Here, we'll do a little reading here while we're online. Okay. It is about offering our love. I mean, as we're going forward and we're embracing that love within, is to continue to offer that love out there to the world. Don't be out there trying to seek it and pull it towards you. No, because you have to love that person you are. You have to love that soul that you are. And when you're loving that person you are and you're radiating on the inside, that's what you want to share. That's what you want to gift out, back out to the world. You want to gift that love out to the world. And that's what we're doing. And then it says, this is about using all of our resources. Like Harry, he's using all his resources. I'm using all my resources. And what we're doing online, we're doing it because we love doing it. It feeds our soul. It's not just feeding our soul, it's feeding your soul. And when it's feeding your soul, and we see that it's feeding your soul, it's feeding our soul even more. So it's like a fair exchange. There's this really awesome, amazing energy exchange going on at the same time. But we are, Harry and myself, and I'm sure each and every one of you, but this is just my example, we are putting our gifts fully out there on the table. And we're making sure that we stay grounded within inside of ourselves, within inside of our souls. Sometimes we have to back away from everybody else to preserve our energy. Okay, we gave our love. Now we got to come back in to revibrate our beautiful souls, our beautiful selves on the inside. And while we're doing that, everybody's waiting on the outside because they're waiting for us to come back in. So that's what I'd say. That's my in-between time when I'm doing my lives on Mondays and Thursdays. That in-between time, I have to go back in to, rebuild up that energy to come back out to share that awesome, amazing love out to the world. And this week I'm going bigger. I'm going live 4 times this week. And one is here with Harry today, and one's with Geraldine Cook on Friday. And it's because I am being guided to do this exactly this way. It is, we have to follow our guides. And to me, my guides are universal signs, and you all know that. I live by universal signs. I'll ask the universe, what do I need to know to get there? And I'll go out in the world and it spells it out for me what I need to do next.
Exactly.
So yeah, and that's how we actually bring the harvest in the world. I know the cards aren't really clear in the big screen like this, but that's how we bring the harvest to the world, into our souls, into the being, is being that awesome, amazing person that you are, but making sure that as you're sharing your love, to make sure that you come back in to preserve your love too also. And that's how it grows to be this bigger, awesome, amazing journey. It's like a wheel of fortune change. It actually changes your life to be this life that you never, ever, ever knew life was to be before. That's a short, quickie reading. How'd you like
nice.
that, Harry?
Thank you.
That was for the collective, so. It's safe to love your brother's house. and someone else is talking about, Kathleen, she's talking about how she wrote everything and she's doing well. And she did the Ho'oponopono, however, when spelled it. Well, it's taken me a while. I mean, even Joe Vitale, he used to say it. He said, Ho'oponopono, what?
Exactly.
It does take a while, but I finally figured it out. Is Ho'oponopono. So, but I had to, actually break out the spelling of it.
Exactly. I did the same.
To figure out how it's really pronounced. But before I actually broke down the spelling, it was Ho'oponopono, which I may still say every once in a while. So
Yoko Ono, what?
Yeah, and it came from, it's Hawaiian, right?
Yes.
Okay, and remember to go to harryb-happy is his channel. I am actually going to put a link into his channel into the description. I had the description all made out, but when I was hooking up with the digital at the beginning of the show, it didn't hook up to the right feed. So I have to go redo the description, but it will have a link to Harry's YouTube channel. So you can go listen to his stuff anytime you want, whether he's live or not. There's so much content on there that, if you need a little bit of guidance, go, he does it with these gongs and the bangs and the next card for me. So, yeah. I was reading in the chat, my brother's always wanting a card, but.
Well, I am truly grateful that that this happened, and this was such a funny thing because we were just kind of chatting the other night, and it just came across us like we should do this, and then we were going to do it. We were going to do it tomorrow, and then everything shifted. It's like, okay, well, we'll do it today.
But what was so funny how it happened is I got a spam into my chat box in Facebook, and somebody sent me a spam, and I happened to open it up. And when I opened it up, it sent it to at least 50 people in my chat box. So for an hour, I'm clearing this all out. And that's how Harry and I connected, because he asked me if I just sent him a link. And I'm going, oh, well, okay, I'm taking care of that. But do you want to come on my show? I mean, it was just like, so I found magic in the middle of something, somebody else would have got the spam and would have gone, oh my goodness, I got to deal with this and got to deal with that. And not me. I go, okay, I got a spam. Let's see what I got to do. And it's like I went and fixed it all up. And in the process of me fixing it up with love, I was fixing it up. There was no anger. There was no upset. There was nothing, it made me sit somewhere for an extra hour to go ahead and clear all this up. But it was like I was doing it out of love in that process. I got a loving contact on the other end to come on to my show to actually talk about what part of what I'm teaching within the show is doing this clearing within our own souls using Ho'oponopono. And I'm going, oh, we're going to bring Harry on. And so that's what my show is about tomorrow. And that's what we're going to talk about Monday. So we're going to have a whole week worth of Ho'oponopono stuff.
Cool. So. Is that what you and Geraldine are going to talk about as well, or?
No, I'm actually going to interview her because she's a hypnosis coach. And so
Perfect.
I'm going to interview her. She's got a list of questions that she's got to give me, and then I'm going to interview, what it is that she does, kind of like what I was doing with you, but we did it free flowing, which is my way. I like doing free flow. It's like, what is it that you do, and what got you into this, and I'm not a scripted person. In fact, when I learned the TV hosting program, it's like, okay, you need to do this, and need to do this, and you need to do this. And I go, I need to do what? Let me rip that up and throw that away and let me do it my way.
Right. Awesome.
So we created magic out of a situation that would have been a headache to somebody else, let's say, not necessarily.
Exactly. So it's beautiful.
All right.
Well, once again, my deepest gratitude to you for inviting me on, and what a fun time.
It is. I love life today. I mean, I know if you turn on the news, there's all this stuff going on, but I have not once gone, oh no, this is going on. I'm going, life hasn't changed for me at all. Because I still love the person I am. I'm still seeking for that love within, and I'm still receiving the love from the outside. So I know that all this other crazy stuff is going on, but it never really touched me where it affected me. So that's pretty neat. Okay, what's it say? So my brother likes what Harry has to say, and both of your backgrounds are so pretty. I got a touch of everybody back. I got a little bit of Kathleen over here, and I got the peacock with me here, and then we got part of the tarot cards, which I flipped those over right now. We got the new moon tonight, which is in Pisces. And you know what the new moon in Pisces has to do with about your creativity. It opens up your creativity, it opens up your dreams, it opens up your inner wisdom. So right now, if you're feeling more productive, it's because we have that new moon in Pisces going on right now. And go ahead and utilize it to your max, and it is a time also of letting go of the old. I mean, something's just changed within the planets and the moon or cycle. I don't know, but something has just changed where we can be letting go of that old heavy stuff, where we don't have to hold on to it the same way. So I think it's really neat that Harry came on today on the new moon day because it is about letting that old be the old so we can keep going into this brand new, beautiful way, using our passions, using our desires, using our creativity, using our dream, and allowing that dream to be created into our future self.
Exactly.
Okay, Harry, I'm going to call it ends, and thank you so very much for coming and joining me live on the show. And thank you everyone for coming and joining us too. We really, really appreciate you. And again, remember to go over and watch harryb-happy on his channel. And I will put a link right away into the description here. Okay?
Yeah, I sent another link to you on Messenger. So
Okay, thank you.
So my direct link is on Messenger for you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right, now let's see, to end this. Okay, I'm going to end the call altogether, okay?